We are on yet another recording of What's Next conversation. Hi, Jack. How are you doing today? You're still
Hi,
hacking.
Marcin.
Still hacking.
I'm great. Still hacking.
You're great.
Yes.
Yeah, I think right now at least I can relate to the weather that you had and have all the time because it's warm everywhere at the moment, and yeah, I'm truly enjoying that. I was hacking so much this week that I can't imagine talking more about it and sharing it. But let's start from what's next then. I know you're hacking still and setting up, but I wanted to do an introduction. Because it will be a different episode than the previous ones. We talked about it last time, and after the call, Jack mentioned to me that let's do something else and let's try to show off and discuss the process of creating something. And by something, we meant about the product, the software part, and the business, basically, because that's all what we do. And the idea was simple enough because you just wrote me that, okay, let's do a CRM solution. We haven't talked, just as a disclaimer, we haven't talked since then. It wasn't consulted. We didn't exchange the ideas. We didn't exchange prompts. No conversations whatsoever about how we've ended up where we are at the moment, right? Correct? Or
That's
not
correct.
Yep.
That's correct.
So
Yes.
that's the first disclaimer. But yeah, so we split it the parts and we decided, okay, let's do something else, something like that. And of course, my ADHD mind decided to do it yesterday. Of course, why not? Because we are recording it today.
Same for me.
So
Same for me.
So that's where we are. We've built some solutions. We haven't seen them yet. And the goal for this episode, and again, please upfront as one of the disclaimer, also let us know how do you like it, and do you want maybe more episodes and conversations like this, because we had fun, and I had a lot of fun as well. We will split the parts. Jack will show off and demo and discuss his solution and his kind of path towards the solution. I will do the same next, and at the end we will talk, exchange the ideas, summarize, and I don't know what else we'll do, but we'll do something with it definitely then. So we called it vibe coded CRM the battle. And I think, Jack, if you are ready, I think it will be a good idea to start with your part, and let me know just when you will be ready to share your screen, or do you want to start from the content?
Let's
You're
kick it
already
off.
always
You
ready.
can
So the screen share?
my
Screen share.
now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's your screen then. Up to the stage. It is here. Nice one.
Okay, so as Marcin said, we are building CRM, and CRM is like the easiest project you can build. However, there was one catch, because we are not building the CRM like a standalone instance. It had to be a SaaS solution, so available for multiple tenants on the same infrastructure, same database, managing the licenses and keeping all the data securely separated between the tenants. So with that being said, let me introduce you to my future CRM. This is the name I used. So what's the most important part in the CRM? Marcin, one more. What's the most important part?
Companies, clients, leads, however you will name them.
Close.
No?
The most important part are deals, because deals are bringing you the money. So deals are the most important part. So I hear the Kanban graph similar to HubSpot. So you can push. So the most important once you have the deals already like this is to push a deal from the left to the right. So as you see, it works quite smoothly, and then it lands either in the closed one, the best idea, and the closed loss. So moving through the Kanban is the most important part. Some cool feature, not that cool because it's kind of typical, but it's a dashboard with all the aggregated data. So I have 2 won deals, and the value of the deals are here. So if I go back to Kanban and I push this deal here to the lost, that would make it 5,000 in value of the lost deals, 10,000 in won deals, and the other statistics over here. I don't have only Kanban, I have also lists and everything I wanted to be possible to be edited inline. So I can go here and I can change even the stage back to open. So in that case, when I go back to Kanban, this deal is back here. So similar for the companies and contacts, everything can be edited inline with a nice pop-up, which is connected to the right side. I believe this is also kind of HubSpot style. So everything which is needed to manage companies, contacts, and deals, which are more
Yeah.
most important part. So as you see, nothing, no fireworks, just regular CRM, but it was built within 2 hours, and in the meantime, I was doing something else. And
Yeah.
maybe
I
I
was
will show
going. I
you
was going
one
to say
cool.
one thing. I was going to say one thing. We haven't wrote a single line of code while it was
Yeah,
done,
that's
right?
very true.
Because again,
That's very true.
it looks like a fully functional tool, and I think this is
It
some,
is.
and again, might be obvious for us, but it's not obvious for maybe a lot of people that this can be built without knowing technicalities behind the scenes, even though we could probably code it ourselves, right?
Exactly. I will show maybe not the code, but the process how I
Yep.
got here. One cool feature, I can customize the stages. So, for example, before sending the contract and after the presentation was scheduled, let's add a very important stage. Let's say demo day. So the crucial part to to change a warm lead into the client. So I would put it between, as I said, sending the contract and after the scheduled presentation. So it landed at here, and I already can push one of the deals over here. So before the code, I will show you the super admin. The super
Mm-hmm.
admin is the administrator of the whole SaaS platform. So it's not connected to like any of the tenants. It's the owner or manager of the whole thing. So here I have 4 different tenants. We are looking at ACMA Coop, and we are only seeing the data from this client, and 3 other clients, they have separated data. Okay, so let's spin it to how I got here. I didn't use Cloud Code at all.
Okay.
Multiple reasons. So Cloud is great, but I don't like to be connected to the monopolists because everyone is doing everything in Cloud because Cloud's the best. Cloud's great,
Yep.
and I could do it in Cloud. And nothing wrong with that. However, I want to show you a little bit different approach. Also using the mainstream,
Yep.
mainstream tools. So I have the cursor
Can you
here.
zoom a little, Jack? Just for
Oh,
the.
yes, I can do
Yeah.
it like this.
Awesome.
So here is my initial prompt. I wanted to show that nothing's there, not a single folder. I'm starting with the ask mode, so I'm not even coding or vibe coding now. I just paste the credentials we have about the CRM, and I ask for the prompt for the Stitch. Do you know Stitch?
Nope. I don't.
Okay, so that's great. That's why I wanted to also show. So here we have the prompt, which was generated by Cursor. So what I did, I just copy and paste that over here, and everything here works automatically. So you will see, I
It's a
recorded
Figma.
that.
It's a Figma competitor, something like that.
No, it's well,
Nope.
it could be Fima competitor. So it's from Google, and it does the UI automatically for you based on the
Okay.
prompts, and you can go back and forth with the prompts. And you see the cursor over there. So I recorded my screen at the time. I didn't touch the mouse. It was exactly what was going on there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's doing the front end for the super admin contacts, for the regular tenants, deals, and so on, so on, so on. Okay, so I think we will have it in a second. Let me a little bit speed it up. So yeah, so we have the things which you seen working already. So this is pretty cool Kanban. Everything as you saw. What I did next, I exported that and I paste those folders into the cursor, into the Stitch folder. It's not going to be used as it is. It's just the reference for the UI. Then I will change to the plan mode. And I was very specific about what technology I want to have for the front end, for the back end. Not going to explain too much about that here. And here I'm all not vibe coding yet. I'm preparing everything. So a few questions from the cursor, and now it's thinking about the plan. So here we have the whole plan, and what I've really focused with the details every time is going through the plan. So if the plan is as I wanted to have, is the plan is as I would do it myself if I would code it regularly. So I have the folder for the backend, for the front end. Everything is as I planned with technology-wise. So it's fast API from Python and React.js for the front end. Here we have the architecture regarding the authentication and multi-tenant shared database. This is like the most important part. So all the data is securely separated. Here is information how it will work. And on this graph, you see that the tenants is the list of the SaaS clients, and all the information is encapsulated in the data for those tenants. So companies, contacts, deals, stages, this is everything which is separated for each tenant, even it is working on the same database. So I went through this plan, checked if it's how I wanted it to be, even like how I want to start it on the local host is what I described myself. So here I'm at the WeWork drinking coffee. And as Martin said, I'm not coding here at all. I was just waiting.
I trust you.
And
I trust you.
so I have the and here I have the commands to run it. So for Python is to just install the required libraries for this project, and this is like the first ever run. So here I have the what I also did. I seeded the data. So of course it was prepared by AI for me. First seed of the data, and here we have like the test admin and the test super admin and the test tenant. The accounts I showed you. So it's like very first login, and as you see, it works quite well. Even the Kanban works from the first start. There was a few things I wanted to change a little bit, which I did with the prompts. There was the flow of adding new contacts, and what was probably some new features regarding the editing stages, and so yeah. So this was after the first run, plus a few iterations, but it was rather talking with AI. Hey, please change a little bit here and there to make it as I wanted, but it was very close to my imagination from the very beginning. I would say it was like I got what I wanted. So pretty happy with that. And of course, to make it a product and push it to the production, that would need a little bit more work, but still not that much using AI. One thing I can show, just a little bit technical, but just to show how it was designed regarding the tenants from the database perspective. So here we have the tenants, and this is like the most important part. So like every other information here is connected to the tenant ID. So for example, users, companies, deals, everything is connected to one single tenant. So there is no option that some data from one tenant will appear to the dashboard of the other tenant, and all the security regarding the data is implemented. But this is the part I would also every time double check myself. However, it's like in Python, it's like pretty straightforward to find it and to check the code if needed. So how do you like my CRM? And is it very different than yours? So that's your time to shine.
Yeah, that was interesting. What's the tool, by the way, here to demonstrate this flow of data and
That's Table Plus.
Table Plus? Cool. It looks cool. I have a different approach, which I would love to share, because first of all, it looks awesome. Great work, agents, high five agents, and I think the case is that I will have a different perspective. First of all, because I haven't built any SaaS product yet. That's the one thing. Second is that I haven't used CRM for quite a while. Damn it! I used HubSpot probably 3, 4, 5 years ago as an extended team, because we needed to help some customers with that, which is another awesome thing. And I did some research prior to my findings. So let me share my turn. First of all, I found something interesting when I was looking for the CRMs. Is something from Poland, which is I don't know if you heard about Open Mercato CRM from the gang of Karwatka brothers. The guys did something what is 80% done CRM, AI driven, ERP driven, open source.
Okay.
So one thing, and also AI developed AI first. And what would be the thing that I would do probably as Marcin and as a human? I would probably use something like that, or I will use some existing CRM as a starting point. But I haven't done it because the challenge was a little bit different. So I vibe coded a Vibe CRM. And that's my name for this one. And I will also start from demo part. But one thing which probably differentiate my approach to your approach already from upfront is that I made it developers friendly from the beginning, because I knew that I want to reach out to developers because they will bring me some more customers in the long term. So agents built already the nice API documentation with Swagger and some other tools in places. And this is also something what is by default included in the platform. And of course, again, the rest is quite similar. So I can sign in. Also, agents provided me some different personas to explore the platform. I can view it as a viewer, I can view it as a salesperson, or I can view it as an admin, and I can log into the platform. I dictated to my agents that I want to use Tailwind CSS because I love it, and I'm quite familiar of it from the product owner, developer's perspective. So I said, okay, it needs to be Tailwind CSS because I can tweak it maybe later. I understand it better, and by default it enabled dark mode. Probably again, agents knows me better than anyone else. But yeah, it is looking quite similar, right? Again, it's just a CRM at the end of the day. But you will notice that again, the dashboard is here, the multi-tenant ability is also here, the contacts are there. And one thing that differentiate my approach to yours is that I haven't made any single fixes after the initial build. So I haven't asked it to tweak or change anything, and I haven't explored it fully yet, just to be honest as well. I will show you in my whole prompting approach. One fix I made, which I noticed just today, was the line fix on CSS, but I will show you. So all the data examples, all the other functionalities, everything basically here is coming from the demo data. And the only thing that I've mentioned to my agent is that I will be demoing it on my live stream. So it made me a demo mode where I can reset the data after a specific period. So that is already ready to, for example, create a SaaS demo environment where you can put someone to explore the platform, reset the data, let's say every day or something like that, and give people and potential clients the ability to explore the platform, which in my opinion would be an awesome driver to sales and demo in general. So that was awesome. I haven't thought about it up front. I just knew that I will be demoing it. I didn't know that it might be a fully functional demo environment with the demo reset data functionalities. And as you mentioned, deals. It looks quite similar, right? Kanban stuff. drag and drop, of course, implemented, summaries of money that to be earned, of course, and everything else that you can see here, right? So it has some glitches here I can see right now. But again, one more prompt or a couple more prompts and it would be solved. And yeah, Deals as well has some functionalities. It is quite useful, quite simple as well, because I wanted to have it be a lightweight CRM. And as you can see here, it does its job quite nicely. And again, it's also multi-tenant prepared. You can view it from the different roles perspective too, of course, with some limited functionalities and stuff like that. Quite awesome, and I think that this is proving the fact that it is possible to be done from one point of view. Now let's talk about how it was done from my point of exploration process, and I can show you what I have done. I used different toolset as well from you, because I used Visual Studio Code and GitHub. Copilot as a driver for building stuff, and behind the scenes I used various models and I used Opus to build code because I was familiar with it from I knew that it will be nice in building solution when it will know what to build. So how I've landed there, and just let me know if it will be seen. It will be seen. Yeah, I zoomed it already. Yeah. So one thing was that I started from a planning session, the same as you do, same as you did, because I knew that I don't want to burn and consume too many tokens upfront, but with building something what I mightn't like. So I said that I will be vibe coding CRM. Those are my initial requirements from a technical perspective a little bit, right? It needs to be easy to work with, flexible stack, Tailwind on front end, stuff like that. And again, I knew that it needs to be compliant, data protection is important, AI readiness is for me very important. I haven't showed you yet, but it has its own copilot baked into the CRM. So and module friendly with extensions, and also friendly to use, simple but nice, same as Umbraco CMS, which is a tool that I've kind of used a lot in my previous life. And enterprise ready is also cool to place here. I also enabled caveman mode. I don't know if you have used that to save some tokens upfront. Caveman is amazing. It's for the cloud and various other tools to save tokens and grab all the bullshit basically from processing parts on the model's explorations. And then and if you will notice here, I've asked it to grab the bullshit, use caveman approach, and give me the prompt first, right? I didn't ask it to build a solution. I asked it to build a prompt. And I get a prompt that, you are a full stack architect, you're building the production grade CRM system, stack, architecture principles, security, compliance, modules, extension points, UX philosophy, AI ready. Amazing stuff. A lot of good things listed here, which I wouldn't think about if I would be doing it for the first time. And then I told it that I need to some kind of dev local version to run and show off during the podcast, right? So they extended my prompt with demo mode and local showcase. One more thing, that's README needs to contain something like that, because I'm lazy and I won't be showing this without 3 commands, so I needed to make it fast. Then what was the README that I got out of it? Just to be quickly showing you here. Is that the one? Oh, it's the one, but I don't know why it's not visible. It is here. Let me just change the screen. Here, stop screen, remove, stop screen. Yep, here, preview of README, that's the one. Yeah, so the README of the file for developers, for me to run the tool, then some demo personas, what's inside, tech stack, architecture, right? Amazing stuff. Also Fastify used here for the APIs, Postgre database ready, even some databases that I wasn't using commercially yet, and structure of the project, security. It's again details, but awesome README to work with, and I think this is also something what I would like as a developer myself. And now let me just land on the other prompting area. Not here. Stop screen. Too many screens, too many consoles. Here. So if I will go back to my AI chats, this was the planning part. Then it was the building part. And what was interesting for this particular vibe coded session for me, it was like, of course, I used this prompt with extended information, but it divided the delivery into deliverables parts. So after each deliverable, I was able to verify if I'm going to the right direction. And if not, probably I would tweak it. But again, I was too lazy, and I was watching some good Yellowstone series yesterday with my wife while I was doing that. So from time to time, I was just saying, yeah, go with the next delivery, go with the next delivery. And that was how it was done. And if you will see here, yeah, it was scaffolding, building stuff. Then I was jumping through the next deliverables and so on. A couple of more iterations here, and yeah, I was done. I was running it, and as I've mentioned, I haven't built any fix since then, which was awesome. So it was fully functional, running already after the first iteration. But because I used the very extended Opus model out there with a really nice prompt internally. One fix which I've done just when we started go live here is like, oh, one thing fix the sidebar and CSS, and it was just done immediately because I have a demo in 10 minutes, so I was demoing it right now, already fixed. And one thing which I've asked after seeing your database, I asked it for the diagram for the multi-tenant data structure. So you can see here, and everyone else can see here, that, yeah, it is prepared for multi-tenant. Probably database is even more complex than I would ever make it myself. But it also has various owners, contacts, and stuff like that. And I have already a mermaid diagram, which I can use now in my materials. So quite awesome. And as I've mentioned, one thing which I was quite proud of was this AI capability already as a part of this platform. I don't know if I closed probably the solution already. But yeah, it was kind of having already the AI readiness and copilot mode, which was amazing. And again, I wouldn't probably build it myself straight ahead. And yeah, it's there, it's done. And that was my part, Jack. How do you like it?
Yeah, I do like it a lot. Do like it a lot. I would give a few comments.
Yeah,
like
let's talk
taking
now.
this idea, like taking this idea to let's say production,
Yep.
or to just double check if it's everything is good enough. But before that, one question to you: if there is no AI assistant helping you or agent, how much time you would need in days?
Yeah, too many. Yeah, probably again, as I said to you, I would probably use some platform that is already on the market, either open source to build on top of that. If I would be in the challenge of building CRM for someone already, someone decided that, yeah, let's go this route, build CRM, don't use anything else, I would probably wrap some open source CRM into the product, or convince my client or someone to use something what is already on the market. But if I would be a developer team who is given with the challenge of building something like that without AI assistance, then thousands of hours, I would say, probably, Ryan. It's like a lot. What would be your number? Have you built a CRM from scratch back in the days?
But back in the days, not exactly CRMs, but a lot of systems managing different things, but I would say the same caliber, the same amount of screens. So I would say roughly 2-3 months, like back in the days. Having
with a team, right, of people.
With a team.
Yeah.
Yes, because back in because then you have to think about the front and back end developer. First of all, probably designer.
Designs,
like
UX. That's the step that you showed with the design platform is something what I completely bypassed, right? Because again, I knew that Tailwind
Claude is very good with the design.
Yeah, but also Tailwind is quite extensive when it comes to the amount of components or already tools and elements that are application friendly.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that if I would tell it to use Tailwind, it won't go too far from something what will be usable, right?
That makes sense. But the thing why I'm use the sketch and this part with the designs is that I see if it goes in the direction I want to have. So my trick is that in the cursor, I ask for the prompt for the stitch. In stitch, I see if it's what I want to get. And then I know that it understands what I want to build. The cursor understands what I want to build. So when I take the files back to cursor, I can continue. And if something's not right, I can alter things at this stage, not later on. One thing for me when I'm producing SaaS products is designing the database, maybe not entirely myself, but actually looking at the structure and knowing the structure, because when everything scales, it's super important. The security is super important. And if you have to alter anything in the future, it affects all the tenants. It affects like everything you have there.
No.
So it's very crucial to be ready for the migrations and updating the structure. So the simplest structure is the best. And of course, the structure which handles all the business logic. Nothing too crazy, but
that's also, Jack, something what is your advantage and our advantage in general, because we had some kind of technical background, and again, imagine you would be a vibe coder without technical knowledge. You would just I want a CRM kind of thing.
Yeah.
And other, some models would probably be clever enough to not give you a complete bullshit structure, but at the same time, when you are mentioning SaaS capabilities, multi-tenant billing, customers, hundreds or thousands of customers, you don't want to be in the position where one small change then takes ages, even for the agents to be done. And I think this is also something what I came up with, this good prompt up front, because I knew that, and I told it to be ready for that, even if it's sometimes too over-engineered. And that's maybe my thing, my thought next to what you've said right now is like seeing where it's going too far, or knowing that's maybe you don't need something like that straight ahead, or maybe you can start earlier. Something what I'm doing right now with some other products which I'm working on is like, okay, everything can be built, but is there someone who will pay for exact this feature or capability? Then asking even a couple of questions up front before I will tell agent to build it. That's something what I right now catching myself into, because as we can see, and probably hopefully we proved that everything can be built, and again, especially if it comes to the software or platforms that are quite popular, quite often used, and models probably just copying and pasting and renaming variables behind the scenes when they're doing that. Yeah, that's my take.
Cool.
But I
interrupted
you. I interrupted you, so I just had the top flying around my head.
Sure. Yes, I was saying about the data structure. That's important. Security is super important. So we are here having fun that we are doing something else and the code was generated. But like when I'm working on the serious stuff, I would always check the code, especially adding new things. It's super easy. Looking at the Git repository, what changed. So after you ask about some specific change, you see in the Git what was actually altered, and I have in that situations always prompt which would update me the migration SQL file if anything is changed. So I would run the migrations myself. I wouldn't ask AI, now go and log into the database and do all the migrations, because I don't want to hear at the end, oh, sorry, that was my fault, everything is deleted. How can I help you now? Job done.
One thing then, Jack, because again, you have definitely more experience on vibe coding stuff and working with it, and AI models, agents, MD skills and stuff like that. I know, for the companies, because I spoke with a lot of companies recently, they do kind of coming up with their own set of rules, restrictions, guidelines, things like that, because at the same time, when you have a big code base, and whatever project we are building, even the CRM, it will be a big code base anyway at the end of the day. You need to have some kind of, it's hard to say orchestration, but some kind of consistency maintained across the solution. You don't want, 7 junior agents to do work in the different departments. You want to make them aligned, and you then need to understand the code base after all, if ever you would like to dive into this and do something or check something. Do you have some kind of practices or tools or approaches already settled for me and for anyone else who would be building something like that to explore or do?
Yes. So I'm focused on producing SaaS products. So for every product, the same technology, literally the same technology, backend, frontend, the same technology, same database, and also the same cloud environment. I'm using GCP, Google Server Page platform, which works great. So all the automation to push new version to staging, development, and production. All the DevOps scripts, like technically, are the same script. The change only changes when it pushes the thing. So every time I'm not going to think, okay, so maybe this is the new nice thing to do, new nice type of front and back end. Let's test it out. Absolutely not. I'm keeping the stack which works very well, is stable, is still maintained. So I'm not catching any flashy new libraries and things. I'm keeping everything the same style. So when scaling out, also all the team members are using the same stack. So yeah, back to like one tool. I wouldn't call it one tool. I would call it like the culture of keeping things simple, working, sustainable, and easy to manage, but with the same stack. So
Yeah.
you could prepare it as some kind of like the base prompt. So before you even type what you want to build, that this is the tech stack, and actually this is what I've done in building the CRM. I was very like easy with that, and only add some information regarding backend in fast API in Python, and React JS with no TypeScript for the front end.
That makes
But
sense.
for the production products, I would be like more strict and more detailed with all the features I want to have.
And again, it's just my curiosity, probably from the still technical point of view, because I know that all the skills, all the extensions, plugins, stuff like that can be installed and configured up front. But at the end of the day, it's also some kind of prompt or pre-prompt that you can just give as a context for your set of agents. And one thing that I've learned, at least during even this process, was like, and again, knowing more about agents and tools recently, is like. You definitely don't want to use Fable or Mythos to plan your work or do some kind of CRM sketch for the design. You definitely want to differentiate and know what models are for what purposes the best or better in general. So that's what I've also learned and tried to apply, because I knew that when it starts into the implementation phase, that's where capabilities of some of these models are seen as an advantage. But on the other hand, on the research perspective, data perspective, some other tools I haven't explored that much yet, but I know that some of the specific other models has better capabilities. And now also what we haven't touched yet is like cost of building this right now. It would be great to see how much it cost to build this platform with the tokens that were used at the moment. But if you are maintaining solution and knowing right now that all the platforms, all the vendors, or the providers will probably be increasing the prices of their services or tokens and stuff, how it will go towards even something like OPEX costs in the end of the day, or even then maintenance of this platform or solution or multiple solutions in terms of local models versus external models, which we had talked about last time, right? So how you can utilize local models, for example, to do work which is not needed for Fable or Mythos or whatever, but then involve Fable, Mythos, GTM, GT, whatever else other models will be on the market for something what they have an advantage in, because maybe they were trained better. So that's where my head is going right now. So I'm quite I don't know what's the best word here. Excited is probably a very good word, because excitement is here, but also break capability is needed, because you can go really, really far, especially if you have a tech background. You can go bananas with functionalities, features, frameworks, tools, capabilities, and probably you can confirm that as same as I do, because I have seen many amazing technical people who I work with or had a pleasure to exchange knowledge with, but they were not able to sell anything. And from the other hand, you can have an amazing salesperson, sales guy, building relations with platforms, tools, and customers who will be paying for everything what he or she will be trying to sell them, and then the rest doesn't matter that much. So finding right now the perfect balance of building something what is really needed, or something what people will pay for or want to pay for. That's where I think still AI models won't directly help yet, because they will probably do what we are asking them to do.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. So first thing regarding the costs, for me, I was using Composer 2.5 fast, and
Okay.
it was like in my basic license, and I didn't use any extra tokens. So I do like this model, and of course I'm thinking about the hardware. I'm planning to have my own server with the LLM, but this is something I have to test and see how good it will be with the coding part. And the other topic regarding the developers, salesmen, I would also look from the perspective of potential clients. So they rather not going to build solutions themselves, because there is the thing who is going to be responsible for the errors and handle that. So either there will be some company doing that, or they're using SaaS platform, and in the cost of the license everything is included. So if there is like the error in the platform, that's the SaaS owner responsibility to fix that part. So yes, so non-technical people, they could bring all the ideas and all the constraints what should be built, but even if they can prepare some plan in Claude, for example, I would take it from the idea, and some technical person rather should continue that to make a working project, not to have some Frankenstein which looks like as it works, but when you look underneath it, there might be some horrible mistake which could make really bad actions on production.
Yeah. And I just checked in the meantime. It was also I was also using the Copilot subscription, and it was probably less than 10% of monthly credits used for my yesterday's exploration. So still cheap as hell, and yeah, that's the scary part of it. Yeah, but again, for now. Yeah.
So we have to prepare for the future.
Yeah, and earn more to spend more. I like this format. Again, people who are watching will be watching and will survive to the end of this episode. Let us know what are your thoughts. One thing and maybe a call to action, which I wanted to leave all people who are with us here on those sessions, like share your work. Let us know what you have built with models, without models yourself. What is the SaaS or non-SaaS product that you are currently working on? Maybe we'll have some formats or capabilities or abilities to maybe let you all, or some of you will let you into our conversations to show off and discuss, exchange ideas. I don't know. That's a quite interesting perspective to talk to. But I'm curious about this, because my guilty pleasure recently is scanning through Y Combinator's companies lists and checking how many of these are doing something what I was thinking about, and how many of these are supported and backed by YC. And that's interesting process, to be fair. That's an interesting process, but
that
I will definitely do more of it.
Yes.
What's your guilty pleasure, Jack? What is your plan? What's your plan to do before the next? What's next?
That's a very good question. So, so now I'm a partner with the UK company who is specializing in promoting SaaS products. So I'm doing this. It takes a little bit time to configure everything and so on. Most work is on their end. So I'm learning new tools for the sales part, promotion, really interesting stuff to me. A lot of insights I didn't know previously. So that would be my guilty pleasure now, learning how to sell my science licenses more. So that's something which brings me smile to my face to actually know how to do it. Not only be able to build SaaS products, but also be very savvy regarding the sales process. And now this part can be automated until the demo phase. And for the demo phase, I have native speakers for the US and the UK market. So those markets I'm interested in. So yeah, so actually as I'm naming myself a producer nowadays,
Yeah,
like
so
in the
producing,
movies, there is a producer who makes things happen, and
yeah,
he is not going to work probably hands on everything,
yeah.
but he knows how to make things happen. So I'm bringing this idea and title into the IT world. I'm a producer. I make things happen. I make things sail. And actually, I'm sitting and looking at this, having fun, and a smile on my face. So yeah, life's good.
Sounds like a good plan. Sounds like definitely you will tell me and everyone else more about it in the next conversations. But yeah, that was fun. That was fun. So thanks for this idea. Let's see if there will be more ideas to explore and hack, share, do, or whatever else here. And yeah, let's enjoy and bring some more smiles onto our faces and someone else's faces too during this week. So yeah, thanks, Jack, for this one. And what speak next time on the what's next then, right?
Okay, let's see what's next in the next episode. So
Yeah.
subscribe.
Thanks, guys. Subscribe, like,
Bye
do
bye.
whatever else. Cheers, guys. Thanks, Jack.
Comment.